Welcome back, everybody. Spot On Jaguars brought to you by Teal Reign. Week 1 NFL football is in the books. Jaguars got the W. We're 1-0. We got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about that big win versus the Indianapolis Colts, a preview of the Chiefs game coming to town, and our picks and predictions. So if you like Jaguars football and all things Duval, hit the like and subscribe button, mash the notification bell, and let's get started. Okay, everybody, we're back. It's Victory Monday. Ben, Jeff, Eric, the Victory Cigar. Jaguars are 1-0. The rest of the division's 0-1. And some other notable teams 0-1. The Bengals, the Chiefs, both lost this week, giving us one step up. Oh, the Bills also down for the count, giving us one game up on some of the big contenders and the entire division. It's a beautiful. Couldn't have asked for anything better to play out week 1. Let's get right into the Jaguars-Colts game. Obviously, first and foremost, Trevor Lawrence, franchise quarterback, doing what he does, looking good. Well, kind of an up and down game, really. The stats were there at the end. We played the Colts, but the Colts surprisingly had a pretty good defense. But Trevor stats 24 of 32, 241, 2 touchdowns with the pick and the fumble that we're obviously going to talk about. 103 overall quarterback rating. The good and the bad we saw from Trevor. Talk about Trevor Lawrence for a second. Ben, Trevor Lawrence, what'd you think?
Well, I thought he looked great, and the thing is Gus Bradley's defense. I mean, that's what he does. He doesn't give you, the deep shots. They're gonna play a bend but don't break type of defense, and you just got to kind of take what they give you. And I thought he did great.
Which is the reason we hired him, because he was a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and I mean, he might have maybe. He focused on Ridley a little bit too much.
Well, we wanted that now. Hold on.
Well, no. I liked it. They came out. They got Ridley involved, and it was kind of like, all right, hey,
more the second half. They
get that over
Ridley,
with.
Big time.
What's that?
More the second half. They focused on Ridley.
By the way, Ridley.
I mean, from the jump, it seemed
he looked
like,
different. This guy, the explosiveness, the game-changing speed, the hands, the quickness. I mean, getting in and out of the routes. Ridley is total stat line.
Trevor, where the two Colts defenders ran into each other. Beautiful.
8 catches, 101 yards with the touchdown. And remember the one that the touchdown got called back for stepping out of bounds, the one where ETN threw the block. Just looking dynamic all over the field. But I like to get it to him quick, fast.
Yeah, I do too. And I think they'll correct too, because Kirk really was kind of invisible.
Right, didn't get involved in the game.
Yeah, and he wasn't. I think somebody
Zay Jones. Zay Jones looked good.
Oh, yeah. Zay Jones made that, the highlight catch. But
Evan Ingram showed up, obviously.
Yeah, but I think that Trevor will go to Kirk and say, hey, I'm going to get you this next game or whatever. That's part of the positive with the whole team, is that I feel like there isn't going to – because on another team with another type of receiver, there might be some infighting. There might be some drama, some ego there. And Kirk is just he's a real solid guy.
He's a gamer. He'll show up week to week. It's
team player,
He won't get down. He'll be back. He'll bounce back. He practices well. He's a team guy too. That he recruits for us in the offseason. This guy, we know what to expect from that guy.
The Jags were interviewing him. It was like media availability before the game, and I loved what he had to say. He was like, somebody asked him, what does it mean to be a Jaguar or something to that effect, and he was like, he's like, I think about it all the time. He's like, it means a lot, and playing for the city, and we're playing for each other, but we're playing for the city, and the fans come up, and he's like, it means everything when the fans say thank you. You know what I mean? So he's a solid dude.
And I heard Jacksonville's got really cool fans.
They got great fans.
Yeah,
great podcasts too.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Talk about the running game for a second. Well, obviously ETN ran well. Tank had a bit of a down game. Dropped the pass, turned into the interception. Yeah. The one where now the fluky play, obviously, where
it was a fumble that turned into we can get into that.
Okay, so
more of a whole team thing. Really.
Okay, so let's get right to it. Let's do the Tank thing. So it was a fluke play. Trevor threw the ball. It was obviously in the right then and there. He didn't know if the ball was his arm moving forward or not. They actually had to replay it. He ends up with the ball in his hands, gets stripped from behind. That ball gets returned for a touchdown. They review it. They look at it again, determine it was a fumble. And now is that on Tank? The whole field had stopped playing.
Now when we had everybody over Sunday, we were all against Tank. Tank should know. Tank should know. Now I rewatched the game Monday, and our whole team didn't do anything. Like after there was a fumble, and it was like it bounced, and he picked it up, thinking the play's dead. And which we're going, no, play to the whistle, And only 3 to 4 of the Colts players knew what was going on, but our entire team
But not only
sat still.
Not even just our team. There was a Colts player, I don't remember who it was. He was standing right next to him, and he didn't budge
didn't
either.
know.
Froze.
And,
Right.
That's why I said
and the
only
guy
3 or
that came
4 of
and
the
punched it
Colts
out, it was a heads-up play. And, the thing is, it's like it's easy for us to sit back and say, oh, play to the whistle and all that. And you should, because that should be,
But there's so much
ingrained
crowd
into you.
noise and,
It's his
you know-
first ever game.
Well,
you
the
know
whole
what I mean?
team didn't
and,
move.
and he's probably looking, he's like, oh, yeah.
And
this-
8 to 9 players of,
Yeah.
of the Colts didn't move. So I can't
It was a
honestly
fluke
put
play.
that Sunday. Yes, I put it on Tank.
The interception, I
That's
thought,
on tape.
you got to catch that.
You gotta catch that.
I wasn't really as mad about that second one because it was
It's
just a
just
fluke
fluke.
play.
Get the
It's
mental
fluke.
errors out of the way
It's
versus
fluke.
Indy because we got the Chiefs coming in
Yeah,
town
right.
next. We don't want to see any of that. But Jeff had a different little spin on the Tank. I text Jeff during the game. I said, "Oh no, Tank!" Right, thinking this is after the fumble because obviously
You texted him because
Yeah.
I was hanging out with him. You didn't.
Well, the party I didn't
you
make
were,
it to
you
the
were
party.
busy spilling drinks. And I
You
was
had three
talking to him.
fumbles at the
Cap,
party, so
cap,
you
cap,
dropped 3
cap,
drinks.
cap.
I
I
don't know
was
what
busy
that is.
cleaning carpet.
So we can talk about Tank all you want, but
Cap.
yeah, the carpet cleanup dude.
Yeah.
So I text Jeff during the game. I said, "Oh no, Tank," and I said, we don't want him to get down. Now Jeff's take responded back to me was, "I don't want Doug Peterson to go away from Tank. I want him to keep him involved,
Yeah.
get him back in the game." Tell us, Jeff. Go ahead.
We said that to each
That's
other.
what I
We were
told
like,
him.
yeah.
I was
And
like,
he
very
comes
next
back.
play, right back,
Right
at
back to Tank, and Tank ended up with the touchdown at the end. Jeff, tell us the whole.
which is like this is the second time he's done this. Because remember the preseason against
The fumble.
Miami,
Yeah.
right. And as soon as you walked in the stadium because you were late, and granted I know you're doing your thing, he literally trucked somebody.
If you
And
know
I
I'm doing
love
my
the
thing,
fact-
why bring it up?
Because we brought it up during the show.
Okay.
I'm just reverbing what you said.
All right.
So I just, I'm trying
Continue.
to fill everybody
Continue.
in. So anyways, back to what I was saying. I just had a feeling, and you texted me, but we looked at each other going, I bet she goes right back to Tank. And that's because Doug has that confidence in his players, especially a young rookie going, Bub, go at it. And he went right back at him. And that's what I
It's
love.
essentially the coaching staff saying, we're going to need you. You bring that explosive. You bring that extra dynamic to the offense. We're going to ride you throughout this year. They don't want him to get down on himself. They want him to be confident.
And
And that's what a Doug Peterson
you're a
brings.
young player.
Yeah.
Like I remember being young, and let's take it back like MMA baseball, and you make an error, you're down. Like it's not going to come right back to you. You're down. He was like, "No, Bubba, this is what we're doing. We're going to go right back at you." And that's what I
And then
love that
Tank
about that. He's a
responds
player's coach.
with the big touchdown. It was actually this game was closer than we expected.
First he gives it back to him. I think the next play after the interception, right? But then after the fluke play, the fumble, I guess it was a few plays later or
Yeah.
whatever. But gave it to him, and he carried the pile to the end, to
Which
the
was
goal line.
so
it was
impressive.
awesome. Yeah, I love that. And then he got the touchdown.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to Peterson and also in the mic'd up. They had ETN talking to him, and he was like, "Bro, you're not going to help us being upset about it or whatever."
Right.
He said. He was like, "Go make a play,"
And
he
that's
did.
that's good on Doug to
Yeah.
not have them on a short leash, to know that they're going to have their touches, they're going to get back in the game. If you make a mistake, we got your back, and that's a veteran coach doing what veteran coaches do.
It's
for young
also
players.
a coach who has played the game
Exactly.
in the NFL. That's the benefit. He's been there.
Yes.
Has that player mentality and has become a coach, so he knows mentality what these young guys
And
have going
speaking
on.
of ETN,
and for him
actually,
to do
give me
that.
ETN's stat line for the game.
ETN 18 carries, 77 yards, averaged 4.3 yards a carry, 1 touchdown, and the big run, 26 yards, which was
money.
smoking.
But the stats don't show what the eye test showed with him, Ben. The explosiveness, the carry, the burst, the speed, get the second level speed.
Don't forget the 5 catches for 27 yards.
I'll bring in what he brings to the receiving game. And by the way, Trevor can just find anybody on the field on any play.
But the stat that no one talks about, which we kind of mentioned it already, when Calvin Ridley caught on the right side,
ETN.
ETN came. I don't know where he came from, the lunchroom.
Out of nowhere.
I don't know where,
Bro, he
but it
looked
was
fast.
just, and it was. I'm talking
was
about
fast,
lightning
yeah.
fast to catch a block. That eventually Calvin went out, out of bounds, but it
But
gave
he was there to
5
make
to
the play,
7
and
yards.
you know what it reminded me of?
That's the
was
hustle
when,
stats.
When Fred Taylor was making that long run, was it the Dolphins?
That's a good call.
And Jimmy Smith comes out
That
of
is a
nowhere
great
and is
call.
like running with him.
And that's what winning
Yeah.
teams, that's what playoff teams do. They don't give up on the play. ETN sees, diagnoses what's going on, and says, "Wait, I can make an extra play
That's
here."
a team playing for each other.
You love to
Yeah.
see that. You love to see that.
Which
All right.
I just love seeing this.
And listen, offense gets all the glory, offense gets all the stats, but the old saying, defense wins
I
championships.
just want to throw this table over and be like, let's go against Kansas City. I'm so
I
excited.
just want to throw a drink over and just
Well, you've had
practice.
Yeah, okay, you've done that enough. Okay,
Three-time champ, baby.
back to defense. Defense wins championship. The defense showed up to a game Indianapolis team. They came to play. Anthony Richardson looks better than my projection. I don't know if he lived up to Jeff's hype, but he looked pretty. He looked pretty good for a rookie.
He looked better.
They came to play.
Everybody's projection.
Yeah, he did. He looked good. One of the best rookie. I think he's best rookie starting.
Are you getting into defense?
Yes.
Before we talk about defense, can we give Zay his flowers? Not Zay flowers, but can we give
yes.
Zay that catch? That was unbelievable. I mean, the placement of the ball was crazy from Trevor, but the way it was just
Never
like
moved.
Just didn't move.
It was like a
to the
magnet
chest.
to a magnet. It
was
never
beautiful.
moved.
It was
It
beautiful.
was one of the best catches I've seen. It
And
just-
then the catch from Ingram down the sideline, that was a big play. And here's a great thing, just to put a cap on offense. It was the most points we'd ever scored in Indy, 31 points. And frankly,
which I didn't know that.
yeah, and I don't even think we played great. We played okay, and we put up
They
the
had to
most
shake
points.
the rust off. They came
Right,
out looking a
exactly,
little rough. Yes,
yeah.
they did not. They did not come out clicking and firing on all
Yep.
cylinders.
And not taking anything from Indy because they were hitting us hard defense.
Yeah, they have some good players.
Defense, they were just they were playing. They were trying to make a statement.
Getting to
and they did a
getting
good
to
job.
our defense though. Our defense. So Aluakon shows up right where he left off. 13 tackles, 8 solo tackles. I mean, this guy is a machine when it comes to
How do
tackling.
you tackle so many people?
I mean, this guy, he's all over the place. But the clear show stealer in Josh Allen,
Impressive.
10 total tackles, 7 solo, 3 sacks, a quarterback hit. This guy was all over the place in the backfield on what just seemed to be every single play.
And what people don't know, the 2 QB hits, they had to go back to the NFL because Anthony Richardson ran out of bounds. They had wanted to make sure that he was past the line of scrimmage. And those 2 QB hits, because he ran him out of bounds, he could have had 5.
I mean, it was
He could
that
have
close.
had 5. It was
Those-
close.
that would have
Could have
counted
had
as a
5.
sack if he was behind the line of scrimmage when he ran.
And what did he
Would
say
have
before
counted
the
as a-
beginning of the year?
What did he say?
I'm going to
specifically?
break
Oh, the
single
sack record.
season,
Yep.
single season sack record.
And he's off to a good start.
And he's I think it
We
started
would not
off,
mind that at
I
all.
think it started off with the black visor. I don't know. It is
and
intimidating.
that hit on the running back too. When he
Can't say
just, like-
enough about the way Josh Allen showed up.
I'm
This guy, I mean,
impressed.
unbelievable.
I think
Finally,
that's why he's wearing his jersey.
oh, is
It
that
is.
the
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shout out Josh Allen? All right.
And by the way, speaking of jerseys, actually, go ahead. Who's another standout? We'll get to that.
Well, who?
Tyson Campbell.
Tyson Campbell.
Okay, we got Tyson Campbell, and I happen to be wearing Tyson Campbell's jersey for the game.
You think you broke the curse?
There was never a curse. That's what
His
I'm trying to
curse
say.
went to Holden Beverages.
It's like,
So
I
now,
put the evil-
do not when he comes to my house, I actually ordered off
Sippy
Amazon
cups?
several sippy cups.
But they're Jaguar sippy cups.
Okay.
So it's cool.
No, Tyson Campbell. Seriously, the quiet superstar Tyson Campbell. 5 targets, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 1 pass deflected. That means if you throw the ball to Tyson Campbell's side of the field, there's a better chance of disaster for your offense than there is of something good happening. I would just avoid him at all costs. Now, we don't hear. He doesn't run his mouth. He just goes out there and does his job. Ben, Pro Football Focus rated him the 3rd best corner overall last week.
No
Accurate.
kidding.
It's accurate.
Yeah,
I think
I
he's.
like
I think
that.
he's definitely top 5.
and I just said top 5 earlier. I was like, I
3rd
didn't
best
know that,
overall
though.
last week.
That's
Yeah.
And
fantastic.
the description of the quiet stud or whatever, the swipe, because he is. He just goes about his business. He's just and he's
How
he's
reliable
winning.
there every
kinda
single
reminds
week.
me of,
Didn't even play
Me?
in preseason.
no, because you talk. God, do you talk? I can't go to sleep at night because I hear you telling a story. No, it kind of reminds me of not in football, but like a Tim Duncan,
Yeah.
that quiet, dominant
Yeah.
force.
Just go
Right,
about your business.
you can count on this guy every week in and week out, to show up, do his job, shut his guy down. I mean, this guy's making plays all over. It didn't play the preseason. That's just come out there and just get it done.
He
That's
played some, but he got hurt. But I mean, regardless, yeah, Campbell was awesome.
And that interception was sick.
And
because
the
he came out of
strip, he
nowhere.
stripped the ball too.
Trayvon
Yeah, he kind
Walker.
of baited him a little bit.
Trayvon
bait
Walker,
him.
Ben.
Yep.
6 tackles, 3 solo with a sack.
With a sack.
But was in the backfield on him a lot of plays. I mean, he was close. He was getting the pressures. He was making him release the ball early, doing his thing. Showed up in the run support game, sets the edge. I mean, the guy does everything we can ask him to. And by the way, let's talk about it because, he's always, for the rest of his life, he's going to be compared to Aiden Hutchinson in Detroit because that was the 1-2 pick and the pick that they were sure the Jaguars were going to go. Hutchinson had a great Thursday night versus the Chiefs coming in to Jaguars this week. Had a great Thursday night. And Ben and I actually spoke about it. Can this guy live up to this potential, the number 1 overall pick? And is he going to be in the shadow of this guy, Hutchinson, who's making plays? And we were actually concerned about that. Well, he showed up in a big way, did his thing. Now he's on pace to have 17 sacks for the year. I know that he's
got the higher ceiling than Hutchinson, and that's
true.
That's the thing with him, and that's why they drafted him, and they knew he was a developmental player. That was, they expect him to be good right away. It's not like he's a guy you hide on your bench until he develops, but they knew he was going to develop into a better player than he is first, even in his second year. And by the way, got to meet him for the first time last night. Jeff and I did, and some other friends that we were out there with. That guy is.
We took a picture with him, and I was like, yo, you got nice kneecaps.
I felt like Jeff standing next to a normal sized person. Like it was. And I'm
the
looking
measurables are off the charts.
That's
The size,
That's
the
actually pretty
strength,
funny.
the speed, the athleticism for that guy are off. And that's why you pick a guy like that, number 1 overall. But for better or worse, he's going to be compared to Hutchinson for going forward through their career, stuff like that. And they both showed up this week. So shout out to.
It's going to change because Hutchinson's going to be compared to him.
Well, yeah, that's what we want. That's what we
and
want.
I'm just glad to see him on the stat sheet. I mean, 6, like you said, 6 total tackles, 3 solo, QB hit, QB sack, and the in the backfield all the time, and I love that.
We need them to bring that this week coming up.
Big time.
This is what's going to be.
They're bringing it. I'm getting excited. I'm going to be out
Real
there.
quick, special teams, the return game specifically. Well, the return game in itself, the kickoffs and the punch. Jeff, you got the stats in front of you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jamal Agnew, just 2 returns, 58 total yards on punt returns, but the big one, which to me was the play of the game, was a 48-yard return, which bounced, and then he waited and grabbed it. And
you could see the block setting up, and we're all just like,
my boy had the PF flyers on, going around the corner, just smoking it, and almost just one little slap on the ankle to taking it to the house. I mean, that's a threat, man.
And he's done that so many times.
So many times.
Why, like I know when people have.
That's why he didn't play in the preseason.
Yeah,
I don't want him to get hurt.
You don't
Like,
need to. Don't know. You don't.
I don't think it's a stretch to say he's the best return man in the league.
I think he is, and what he's
that.
done for us, we expect that our offense is going to take that next step this year. But last year, while we were still, kind of trying to figure it out, there was games that we won that, at pivotal moments, he got us to midfield. And then, he made it a shorter field for us to be able to score. And he did it again. It's not, I wouldn't say that we struggled on Sunday, but he put us into position. And, yeah, he's underrated, I think, as far as, because when you look at the team, it's Trevor, it's Etienne, it's Ridley now, and we look at all these players. Agnew is just, he's a weapon, bro. And,
I mean, like what you're saying, like our special teams, it better have a Madden rating A+, because you got Logan Cook,
yeah,
and you got Jamal Agnew. That is double threat. We got a guy that you stop us, he's going to put you way back there, and then if you're going to punt or kick us, we got a boy right now that's going to bring it back.
So we can change it. We can flip the field position on you real
easily.
quick.
He's done it. I think he's the best in the league. He's done it time and again. He did it again on Sunday, and found out yesterday that he also has the voice of an angel.
I don't know your name, but excuse me. I saw you from across the room, and I gotta admit that you got my attention. You angel.
Oh, I saw that on stage.
Yeah.
But
I would say like a dying angel, but the charisma is there.
Yeah.
Is there.
So the big thing is 1-0 in the division. Tennessee with the loss. Indianapolis lost to us. Houston with the loss. So we get the game up on all 3 division opponents. What a great way to start off. But moving right along to this week's matchup, we have the incoming world champion Kansas City Chiefs, led by star quarterback Patrick Mahomes, head coach Andy Reid.
I heard he's got a really cool brother.
He probably has a cool brother. But you're moving right along. No. This time they're playing our house. Last year we went to their house. We lost 27-17. Obviously saw them in the playoffs. The heartbreaker was at 27-20.
Yep.
And this time we have them here. We've been right at the doorstep. We've been knocking at the door. And I think we need to show them that we're here for good. We're here to play, and we're here and we can win. Yeah. And this is the measuring stick. This is what we want to see. Obviously, we want to see Week 1 versus Indianapolis win football season here, but this is what we've all been waiting for.
This is a statement game.
Big time game. Big time atmosphere, playoff atmosphere already in week 2. And we're going to see where we're at with this team. Now, they do have what I consider 2 of the top 5 non-quarterback players in the league coming back in Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, all-world tight end, all-world defensive tackle, and they're game changers. They're difference makers. They're coming off a loss to Detroit in week 1. Now, they've had an extra 3 days of rest because they played on Thursday night. So they had like a little mini bye week to get prepared. And the fact that Doug Peterson and Andy Reid know each other, coach together, friends. There's no sneaking up on these guys. They pretty much have a great feel for where they're at. So this is going to be our guys versus your guys. See what we got, see what we can come up with, and see who can execute and make plays. The Chiefs looked horrible last week on offense, not Chiefs-like. Their receivers couldn't catch a ball. They didn't have Kelce in the game.
They couldn't catch a cold.
They couldn't catch a cold. And they're going to try to bounce back versus us. Our defense has to step up to the challenge. Give me your takeaways. First, Ben, go ahead. You're first.
Well, first of all, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And it's cliche, but I mean, that's what it is. And, I kind of like the fact that Kelsey's here and Chris Jones is going to be playing. Now, they might not be 100.
I don't want any excuses.
Yeah, I want to go punch him in the mouth. And when we did our predictions at the start of one of our first shows for the season predictions, I said I was leaning on the home field advantage. I think that this year we're going to establish ourselves as being one of the best home field advantages that there is. I think that we're going to come out and be disruptive. I think the team's going to be fired up. They're locked in. And, it's not that, the Chiefs are going to be unprepared, and they're coming off of a loss. So I think it's going to be 2, heavyweights.
The fans have been waiting and ready for the Jaguars to have, a contending team, a team that we think can win it all. And now we have the world champs coming in, a team we've seen twice in the past calendar year, a team that we've been so close to beating but haven't been able to conquer yet. And I think this place is ready to erupt. The place is ready to explode, go crazy, and establish the Jags as a home field team. Now, get this, the Chiefs have one of the best home field advantages, along with teams like Seattle with the 13th man and all that. So now they're on the road in a hostile environment. We can make some noise. We can make it happen. I want to see the fans show up, too. I kind of want to see that. And I'm not one of the rah-rah people. I like, I kind of like them to win on the field. But, yeah, let's establish it. Let's get loud. Let's make it happen.
So, with that, by the way, the Jaguars have said that it's going to be a teal out. So, and I posted something. The Jaguars had posted something on Instagram, and my comment was, there's Jags attire, Jags gear in white. There's black Jags attire, and there's gold Jags attire. This ain't the week for that. It's teal.
It's teal.
Teal everything. And then I gave, a couple, a list of some tips for fans. Number 1, when Kansas City has the ball, you're making noise. And I'm sorry if you like to sit down, but freaking stand up. You stand up, you make noise. When it's 3rd and 4th down for the Chiefs, you make more noise. And this is something that irritates me too. The Chiefs are a frustrating team because, you'll have Mahomes stopped and he'll come out of there and he'll pick up a first down, right? You don't sit back down if they get a first down. It's going to happen. Anytime they have the ball, you're standing up, you're making noise, and you don't stop until we have the ball.
I think the fans were on point in that Chargers playoffs game last year. I mean, they had it down. I was proud of the hometown fans in that playoff game. They had it right, but this is playoff atmosphere football. This is the one. This is the measuring stick. This is the game. It's time to show up. Let's see.
I agree. And listen, we're not new fans. I mean, we're a young-ish franchise. Jacksonville does go crazy, and it's been a lull through some of the lean years. But I'm just saying, to take that next step, they need to fans, and there's a lot of us that are wild, but everybody needs to go wild. You should just know that when you go to the game, you're not going to have a voice at the end of it. Just, come to terms with it. You get some throat lozenges or whatever you got to get.
Or beer.
But yeah, and beer, bourbon numbs
Really
your
does
throat
that,
a little bit. Yeah, so it helps with the.
It's an old Indian firewater kind of herbal thing.
Yeah, Native American.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they have the ball, you're making noise. We have the ball, you be quiet.
Okay.
Until we make a play, then you go crazy. And that's how it is the whole game. So you're wearing teal. When they have the ball, you make noise. You don't sit down, and then when we have the ball, be quiet until we.
If you're not wearing teal, we'll shame you.
Yes.
Shame.
Teal shame you.
Okay. Enough. All right. Enough of fan talk. Let's talk about some one-on-one matchups, the things that we're going to want to see. First, Chris Jones coming back. Hell, it was a holdout. It wasn't injury. Holdout, contract holdout, whatever it was. They got the deal done, and he's back. He had no preseason. He didn't have a week 1. So we don't know how many reps he's going to get. When he does play, he's a great player. He's one of the best in the league. Him, Aaron Donald, whatever the short list you want to call it. We have a guy out, Brandon Scherf, on the interior of our offensive line. Questionable still? Okay, he hasn't been ruled out as of this broadcast.
I don't think he's playing, but he's tough. He played injured either, last year.
Okay, so they're going to have to come up with a way to block him out in the passing game, a way to avoid him in the running game. You can do some max protect. You can do some chip blocks. You can do some double teams. There's some stuff. Doug Peterson knows full well what this guy brings to the table and what he can do and how to block him. But that's one that we're going to want to look for. But the one that we all want to see is Josh Allen and Jawan Taylor. Obviously, the Jacksonville connection. And a little bit, it got a little chippy, a little bit of talking. What Josh Allen say in the?
He says we're looking forward. He goes, we're looking forward to playing against Jawan. He knows about us, and we know about him.
And I like it. I like the way that I like the way he said that, and I like the way it went down. Now, Jawan Taylor is getting a lot of flack through social media online right now. A couple of things. He apparently false starts on every play, which they've been saying back to the Jaguar days. He claims he's going at the exact second.
When he was with us, he did go at the exact time, but now he's definitely false starting.
He's lining up as a slot receiver.
Here's what's being said is that he's lining up so far back,
right,
which is cheating. Like he's lining back to where you got to be on the line. He's lining back, and he does this twitch on his right leg when there's a pass. Like he's trying to start a motorcycle.
He has a tell. It's called a tell. He has a tell.
But then when it's a run,
he's firm, right?
He's firm.
And so I think that
you don't think the Jaguars or Doug Peterson saw that video? This was like 3 days ago.
Well, how about Josh Allen, who's lined up across from this guy for years? I mean, this is going to be the one that we want to see.
Is in trouble.
I'd like to see the refs call one of these false starts. I would love to see that. They called, I think, one during the Detroit game when he was doing it nonstop. And it's all over TikTok, Twitter.
That's the benefit of social media right now is that when it's all over and they hashtag NFL, you don't think refs
but one negative is I think it was Fournette put out there today that the head referee for the game, the Jags are like 0-5 the last 5 games that he's been the referee.
Well, Jaguars haven't been
0-5 last time we played KC.
That's true.
They haven't been very good.
So. And they're walking into a hornet's nest. And what happened the last time we played a team in the playoffs that beat us? Mm-hmm. And they played us the next season.
Before last year was
the last time
was the New England Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots.
And what happened to them?
Yeah, we smoked them. The season didn't go so well.
We ain't talking about that. We're talking about the game.
I agree. And there's differences.
Different coach.
There's differences.
Different players. Different mindset.
And you know what? That team, so to that point is like, the players that we have, like Trevor has helped and the team has helped. We've been exercising demons, and we've talked about that before. But, beating Tennessee, beating the Chargers, making that West Coast trip and going out there and winning. And so it's like, this is that next step. And the NBA back in the day, one thing I used to love watching the NBA is that there was always sort of a rite of passage. You had to take your lumps, and then you would kind of overcome. It was, Isaiah with the Celtics and the Lakers, and then it was Jordan versus and this is that. For us, I feel like this team just keeps climbing, and they're in our way, and they got a great quarterback, but so do we.
So this. I don't know the entire story, but what you're saying kind of goes with it. So last year they had this saying that, and I want to look up the entire story, but Peterson played this movie or this show, and the saying was, "It's good, it's good." So anytime a player messed up, even when he threw the 4 interceptions. When he went back to the sideline, other players would be like,
"It's good,
it's good,
yeah,
it's good." And I want to look up the entire story.
Yeah, I remember
because I kind of watched it. I think it was actually today I saw it, and it was like, "It's good." And that's their mindset going. It didn't matter where you messed up. It's good now. It's good. It's good.
So let's go over the individual. Let's go over the individual sectors of the offense and defense and say where we think we have an advantage over the Kansas City Chiefs. Starting with special teams, I think we have a clear advantage over most teams' special teams.
And McManus, by the way, one field goal, 4 extra points,
looking solid too. And now defense, I don't think it's a stretch to say we have a better defense than Kansas. Yes, they have Chris Jones. They don't have.
I don't think it's a stretch at all.
I think we have the better defense. If you want to talk about tight ends, both these coaches are well known for tight end coaching. They have Travis Kelce, the Hall of Famer. We know that. We're going to give him that. But it's not like we don't have a tight end over here. We do. Wide receivers, I think Kansas City might be the worst in the league. After week 1, I think it's safe to say the Jaguars have the best offensive line. They got a couple linemen. They got, Brown, Taylor.
Ours is beat up, but I think we'll be all right.
But what does that help them in the running game? Because our running game is now dynamic. It's now a strength, whereas last year it was a little one-dimensional.
The middle of the line, wasn't really getting a lot of push, and they weren't really opening a ton of holes. Even that ETN run, it looked like he was trying to, go up the middle, and then he bounced it, for the 20-something yards. So
he could do
I
that.
mean, can you say his first game jitters? Can you say
and
that?
injuries.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but
O-line takes time to gel, and we've had some injuries or whatever. But Trevor didn't get touched. And Grant, this is a better team, and that Chris Jones and all that. But who, by the way, yes,
I don't even think it's a big factor.
he wasn't injured, and he's coming on, from
But there might be some
contract
rust.
dispute.
We know that.
Yeah, rust.
Yeah.
He hasn't been training. But now getting to the big pink elephant in the room, Patrick Mahomes, quarterback play. And that's where, if we get what we think Trevor Lawrence is ascending to that superstar level, if we get that kind of play out of Trevor Lawrence, offsetting what Mahomes can do, shouldn't we be able to just beat them at home?
I mean, when you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, let's look at his key passes. The rollout to the opposite side to find an open Calvin Ridley in the back of the end zone.
And
him throwing a dime between two players who actually ran into each
Collided.
other and they were injured.
Uh-huh.
The dime to Ingram, the dime to where only Zay Jones can catch it, which, again, the talent of Zay Jones catching that is absolutely amazing. To not say Trevor's not the man to where it's the way his placement, his command of the offense, taking accountability when he messes up. I'm sorry. I mean, if you want to talk about matchup to matchup, but not accolade to accolade in this game compared to where he was at, like Patrick Mahomes playing against the Lions and how flustered he was and how he probably has zero confidence in his receivers, and you got Kelsey with probably an 85%, 90% knee. Mm-hmm. They were swelling, hyperextended.
it was a hyperextension was the diagnosis.
And how old is he? What, 32? Is he 32?
He's getting
He's up there.
He's getting up
It's
there.
a little
on
bit
the wrong
different.
side
A
of
little
30,
bit
we know
different
that.
recovery. I'm just saying, it's just.
I think that them being Chris Jones getting the deal done, and I think the Kelsey plan, I think is a sign of they know what time it is. They know that they got a fight.
Yeah,
on
they're
their
rushing
hands.
their guys
Yep.
back because
well,
they know.
it reminded with
They don't wanna go
Chris
0-2.
Jones. It was when Emmett held out. Back in the day, and then
Right.
they I think they went 0-2, and then they brought we got to get him back in, and I think we got to play.
Well, they don't want to start 0-2, especially
Yep.
to someone who they think they could see later on
Yep.
in the playoffs, giving us home field advantage in the playoffs.
Yep.
And obviously, there's the stat where if you start 0-1, your percentages drop. 0-2, your percentage drop. 0-3, and you basically in 16 games you basically couldn't make the playoffs
Yep.
before. So their backs are against the wall, playing a contender.
And you don't think they know, because our team is 90% the same team from last year?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. You don't think they know the feeling we have from the loss that we had from last year on the high wave we rode, and just to come crashing down to a game that we really was in the grasp after the 99-yard by Chad Henne drive?
I think that if we
It's a hornet's nest.
I think that talking about hornet's nest, I think that that's why I'm going on about the home field and fans and doing their part, doing our part, but in a lot of ways it's splitting hairs. You have Mahomes is awesome, and then we have Trevor who's coming into his own, but you can say check here, check here, check here. But we're playing at our house this time, and so we can genuinely make a difference and disrupt them, get some false starts, and I think that could, like I said when we made the picks, I think that could be the difference.
I have no doubt in the fans, because when Miles Jack wasn't down and we lost that game, that next game, that next season, I think it was game 3, which was at that time the hottest game ever recorded at that time.
Mm-hmm.
The fans were insane. And we showed out, like the team, because they remember.
We showed out versus the Chargers. We showed out versus the Titans.
The fans showed out.
So no, I agree, and I'm not saying that. Hey, we really need you. It's not I'm not pleading with anyone. I'm saying that could literally be one of the deciding
We just
factors.
need your ensemble to be teal.
Teal, and you need to be loud. That's it.
Okay, I just can't wait. This can't get here soon enough. We can't wait. But let's
I
get
got
right
the
to
cooler already packed. It's ready to go.
Let's get to our predictions. Let's get to our predictions for the game. We caught. Oh, by the way, last week, Ben had. Were you the closest? Ben 28-13 was the closest. I actually had 31-10. I actually had the Jaguars score exactly right, and if it wasn't for a fluke touchdown, I'd been a lot closer. But I think you were close last week, so I'll let you kick it off. Give me your prediction score for the game. I think we all have the Jags winning, right? I mean,
yes.
this is
Yeah,
just
pretty much.
for
Yeah.
sure. I'm not going to pick against the Jaguars right now. Go ahead, Ben. Give me your shot.
I got Jags. I'll do 35-28 Jags.
35-28. Jeff,
And I think I said 34-27.
34-27. I got you. And I'm going to do an exact flip of what they did to us last season at their house. 27-17. This time Jaguars
Which is
ahead.
a good call.
27-17.
Like the guy in me right now wants like 48-0, but I know that's not realistic.
Yeah.
So,
What did you say we were going to score versus the Colts? Like 72 or something like that?
off record, yes.
I don't know. But we can't wait. Sunday cannot get here fast enough.
Yeah.
Man, it's football season again. So let's see the fans show up for the teal out.
I have a
Jaguars.
really good feeling about this game.
I can't. All right, and moving along to the next segment, we're going to do some picks and predictions. But first, talk about Living Up Apparel.
Oh yeah, shout out Living Up Apparel. So Jeff's got the shirt on, so he was cool. He sent us all. He hit me up on Instagram and asked our shirt sizes. So let me send you some
I
shirts.
couldn't believe he had a medium.
He did have a medium. He had a special made. But, yes, came home. I'd kind of forgotten about the conversation. Came home and had a little gift box that spot on Jaguars on the box. I thought that was, kind of cool.
Show
And,
here. We got to show us what we
nice
got.
presentation. So we got Jeff's shirt. And I got some pictures. I actually did a video and pictures of the unboxing. And I'm
so
gonna
we'll put
post
them up
that.
during the-
But they are pretty cool. This is yours, Jeff, Eric, by the way.
That ain't mine.
This would be.
That'd be a sundress on mine.
that's actually
this would be a muumuu.
Oh, it's got a little Game Boy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
If
fly.
I like the little graphic on the back too. I like that.
Jaguars,
So,
right.
that's you.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Living Up Apparel. We appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out Living Up Apparel. Check them out online. We'll put the links in the description. This is mine, by the way.
Smoking the AFC South pack. I
that's
like
right.
it.
I like it.
Yep, real cool stuff. Sent us some koozies, some
feels
stickers.
good, like the
and,
print's good.
It is.
The
The print
print's
quality,
nice.
the shirt feels good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really
Thank you
appreciate
very much,
it.
you guys.
Shout
Check them
Y'all
out.
make sure to
Living
check
Up
them out.
Apparel. Thanks again. All right. Okay. Picks and predictions. So for the season-long Pick'em Challenge last week, I had 4 correct. Jeff and Ben both had 3 correct, so I'm 1 up in the win column. So this week we disagreed on 5 games. Starting off, Green Bay, Atlanta. Jeff, you have Atlanta. Ben and I
Atlanta.
both like Jordan Love. Green Bay looked good last week. So
It's in Atlanta. Atlanta has a really good running game. I think it's going to be a little shock there coming off Green Bay's high. I think there's a little.
they have Kyle Pitts, former Gator, Atlanta.
That's my boy. What do you think
Denver,
of Atlanta?
Washington. Ben differentiates. He goes the Commanders. Jeff and I go Denver. I just don't think Sean Payton's going to lose 2 in a
Call
row.
my name. I want to hear what you're going to say.
I don't think you do.
I want to hear what you're going to say.
I was debating about just
We're
an
picking teams.
Atlanta
Come on,
reference,
the
but never
microphone's
mind.
here.
Yeah, I know it was an Atlanta reference,
drop it.
but I'm not going to.
Okay.
All right. Denver, Washington.
Oh.
Ben's got Washington. Jeff and I have Denver. Raiders, Bills. Ben and I both have the Bills, 10-point favorites against the Raiders. Jeff, you like the Raiders.
I'm pulling the Raiders, man. I'm
You
pulling
did
the
not like what you saw from-
I think Josh Allen is mentally ill right now.
He's
with,
shook, we call
with,
that,
with
shook.
a fumble, 3 interceptions. He doesn't have his offense coordinator. He's a little shook. Confidence is down. Now, that doesn't mean Bill's going to have a down year. I just think 0-2 sounds reasonable. And
Okay.
Raiders coming off a high.
We got Seattle, Detroit. Jeff and Ben both go Detroit like what they saw versus. I think it's going to be a letdown game for Detroit. I think they got too overhyped for the Chiefs game. They're going to come back down to reality.
If y'all haven't seen it, look up, what's his name? Campbell?
For who?
The coach, for
coach?
Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look up his quote he just said,
Dan
or how
Campbell.
he prepares for a game.
Oh, I did see
You
that.
will be disturbed.
Yeah.
All right. I like Seattle. I like
Maniac.
Seattle.
Isn't he the one that was saying we're going to
He
bite
said
people's
something
ankles?
like,
eating
I
kneecaps.
eat 12 ostrich eggs,
Yeah.
I work out, and then I go lay with my wife with a picture of the opponent coach. Because if I can finish while looking at you, I'm going to finish you on the field.
Yeah, he's got problems.
All right.
That's this is Sparta kind of talk, man.
Okay. Dan Campbell. Nice.
I'm
All
sorry,
right.
Miss Campbell.
And then the final game we disagree on is Browns, Steelers. I like the Cleveland Browns. Jeff and Ben both going with the Pittsburgh
I
Steelers
don't
for a
see
bounce
them going
back.
back-to-back bad games.
Okay. And so we disagree on 5 of them. Like I said, I'm 1 ahead in the.
We
Win
heard
column.
this first time. We don't need you to repeat it.
While I'm ahead, I'd like to make a little chirping, a little noise about it.
Let him have his moment because Eric doesn't beat me in things like hardly ever.
Well, okay, so let's talk about something else. Go to fantasy, Ben. Tell us about. So we have a fantasy league. We have a little.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk.
We have a little spot on Jaguars fantasy report coming.
I think I played. Who did I play against?
Here, Ben, spin
Hold on a second. Listen. So we're gonna talk about Eric first. So yeah, we kind of last minute put together. We just like right before the game. We were like, you know what? Or that day, we did a fantasy draft. We brought in our boy Khalid Jaguars. By the way, real cool dude. Check him out. He's got his YouTube channel. He does a lot of vlogs and he'll hang out with us. He was at the watch party. He went out to the season ticket holder event yesterday. Real cool dude.
And knowledgeable.
But
knows his
he's
stuff.
a good kid. I mean, he's young.
Knows
I
his
say
stuff.
kid because I'm old. He's young. But like I actually saw him on YouTube. And I saw some of his vlogs from the games, and I love when I see people, just sharing their, getting into the Jags. And this was, so I actually found them on Instagram. I stalked them a little bit, found them, and then we kind of just connected and we really started talking out at training camp. But anyway, long story longer.
Smart kid.
He is. Long story longer, so we did a fantasy, just a 4-team fantasy league. The only rule was that you had to have 4 Jaguars on your team, and you got to start 2 every game. So we had our first, and we're going to do it. If anybody's interested, you can follow along. We'll make the team public, and I'll share some of the stats and everything on social media. But we got game 1 was Khalid Jaguars and team Eric. And Eric got smoked, 169.84 to 137. All the teams are stacked, by the way. They're all
stacked.
Yeah, they're super stacked. I mean, it's 4 teams. What are you going to do? Okay, so yeah, Khalid, good job. But anyway, moving right along. So we're going to go to the rest of the picks.
No.
There was another game. The other game.
The other game.
Blood, sweat, and
last
beers.
week's?
Yeah.
That's always way bringing
That
up old
was
stuff.
You just talked about one game.
It was an overview.
This is just like him telling a story about the time he spilled 3 drinks on Sunday.
One
fumbled, 3 fumbles,
drink.
3 fumbles, one Sunday.
It was one. Listen, okay, hold on a second. So I'm gonna set the record
Can
straight.
we get the results of the
I'm
other
gonna set
fantasy
the
games?
record straight. So there were 2 spills. One was legitimate. I was walking by. I got
What's
caught
an illegitimate spill?
I don't know.
I'm explaining.
There's an illegitimate-
I'm explaining.
Let me Google it.
Hold on a second. So listen, I taught you about Jimmy's and Joe's, X's and O's, and now I'm going to teach you about legitimate and illegitimate spills. So there was one legitimate spill. I got hit in the shoulder. I dropped my drink. I did. I fumbled the ball.
Which was fun.
It was fun. I admit
Brand
to it.
new drink.
The other one, it was.
On my
it was full.
cowhide
But it was sweet tea.
carpet.
It wasn't alcohol. I mean, I didn't waste any alcohol. It was sweet
didn't
tea.
matter.
But the first one, I'm
Celebration.
absolved from. No,
Celebration.
it was a celebratory spill, which I am allowed. I get a pass on that. I'm liable to dance. And anybody knows if you're around me when we score a touchdown,
And you don't want him to do it the second time.
I didn't do it the second time. The first time we scored a touchdown, my pocket brushed it. I had it set on a perfectly good spot, a level spot,
Just remember that.
and my pocket hit it and it fell. But I don't get blamed for
Illegitimate
that.
spill. Can you
But anyway,
use the
so let's get-
legitimate
let's-
fantasy-
Second time was the same spot, and then somebody else hit it.
What do you have
Not
against
my fault.
So
what do you
his
have against
placement, his placement of the beverage was on a goose down couch.
It's a
arm.
level arm.
I broke out a level because he kept saying it was level. It
No,
wasn't
that's
level.
when I was.
It
That's
wasn't level.
when I had the
It
drink
wasn't
sat
level.
on the cushion.
That's the 2 first spills.
I didn't spill on the cushion.
No. On the level.
What do you have against Jeff's cowhide rug?
Yeah. Again.
Okay, can we get a
It
legitimate?
gives me Texan vibes.
He's vegan.
I don't know.
He was like, I'm
Can
vegan.
you give me a legitimate fantasy score for you and versus Blood, Sweat, and Beers?
Okay, so
Great name, by the way.
Great name.
Blood, Sweat, and Beers versus Team the Bangham Bros. It was 185.84 to 121.34. But
There's a caveat. But
absolutely. So when we were going through, I knew that if y'all I knew somebody was going to take him, but y'all be crying about it and saying, basically doing what I'm doing. I had Kelsey, and I picked him knowing that he wasn't going to play, and we didn't have time. We didn't have time to finish the rosters and everything.
sacrifice.
He wasn't going to get you
Yeah.
60
This
points.
sack.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not worried about
I'm
it.
thinking long term.
I think he
long
took
term.
him because he was like, I'm going to take him because I know I'm going to go to Jeff's house and just mess up rugs.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's what I'm
going to
going
do.
to do. I'm going to spill
Rug
drinks.
destroyer.
I'm a
Destroyer of rugs.
He went back to Old King wings. He's going to pour some out for his homies. I don't know.
Check out the Fantasy League. We'll all be doing destruction, devastation all season long. That's going to do it for this week's podcast. Next time we see you guys, we're going to be 2-0 after we whoop up on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
See you next time. Spot on Jaguars, brought to you by Teal Reign. So long.
Brought to you by Resolve. Clean your carpets.